sorry, I clicked on the wrong link. Give me 1 second. So we're going to go into Order Management Foundation. We'll spend maybe 10 minutes or so going through a couple of quick examples, show you the integration patterns. You can kind of see how it works. And if there's no other questions, we can adjourn today so that you may get to rest with the store tomorrow. So again, I think we'll just take a look at some just general orders that are coming through here. As an example, this is your kind of single dashboard for all order-related information coming in. We said that we have natural, we have APIs as an example to the bigger one. I would say is orders, to create orders, of course, to retrieve and create orders, and then update those order activities with the standard SD processing. Order created, orders done for picking, items been picked, items been shipped, items been delivered, things of that nature. So we'll kind of just focus on a little bit about that. Like I said earlier. Composable suite equals microservices equals APIs. And so we'll kind of walk you through the process today a little bit. And so what we'll do is just create an order and see how it flows through the system. But we'll look at the order API a little bit as well. And so just as an example, today we're using a tool called Postman that allows us to make API calls using some very basic information like endpoints, authorizations, and specific addresses that we can send data to and from. Okay, so we talked earlier is from a technical standpoint, everything is available via authorization trust management, available BTP, where after you deploy OMSA, you create specific instances of bindings for each of the applications. And so in this case, we're going to use ATM, which is authorization trust management, which creates a token, an OAuth token. So we're going to go back here. I'm sorry, let me press the API real quick. Here, you'll see the last order we created was order 175, right? As an example, such order ID. In this example here, what we're going to do is create a token, which creates a token that allows us to send a order request from, as an example, your e-com system, and then send an order to OMF. And so you'll see, we'll look at the data real quick. Let me make this bigger. I don't know how small this is screen. So let me just try to zoom in a little bit. Make it better for you to see. So you provide some information, right? So again, everything has to be aligned in your backend system. You will have a sales area where you define your sales org, distribution channel, and division. Then you take that information, you go into OMF, and you create a new market as an example. You can call the market whatever naming convention you want, but it does have to map back to that sales organization, 1790, that distribution channel, 93, and the division, 90. That's our naming convention. Again, you can call this market ID however you want, that whatever naming convention or nomenclature exists to your enterprise or your implementation. But it is key that this information is configured: sales org, distribution channel, and division. Here we can provide a description of what we're sending. You can provide your customer, again, it's your customer or one-time guest as an example with your address information. We have our address information. We have our order items. So like if you think back to your sales order, you have your header item and line item, schedule line, right? So here is your line item where we're going to define the line item. Number, the item type, which is a physical item, which is a rule that we had that you might have seen earlier, that if it was a physical item, which means we will then create a sales document that has a actual inventory product that would go to a specific DC for fulfillment as an example. Okay. What we see here is our product. So what is the product? With my external system ID, which is the system or my external ID. So I think in the API definition, either you provide your internal name or your external ID. This external ID, of course, if you look here, it represents the SAP material number in SAP. But if you had another value that you want to use, like your D10 or EAM, things of that nature, you can pass that value as well in a different field. That's an example. You provide the quantity of what's being sold and the unit of measure. Again, this information comes from the product data, where we said that in the product data, you provide the product name, the language, you can provide product type, category, product group, unit measures, pricing groups, things of that nature, right? So here we cover the unit of measure, pricing data as an example, and then we can send this through to, and then here is our schedule lines where we have our delivery source. So here we're saying it's going to go be sourced by a DC or sourced by a DC from this specific sales org, which is apparently looks like we have a variable that we're going to pass to, which is going to be TC01, right? But in an integration standpoint, it would be the same thing. So you're going to integrate OMSA with commerce, as an example, or if you're going to integrate OMF to make the call to OMSA, then whatever the results of OMSA as far as your fulfillment site or your sourcing ID plan, then it would be passed to OMF in this area here as well. So we would respect any third-party solution that provides sourcing and availability capabilities. So we're just going to hit send here real quick. You'll see that it created here. It was created, and we have an ID of 176. So here, then if we were to hit just refresh, we would have order item 176 come through. You can click on it to get the header level information. You'll see it here. You can get all the information related to the item and the item details of the cost, pricing category, things of that nature, where it's being fulfilled from. So if you had a single order with multiple line items and it gets split based on the splitting rules or based on the sourcing and availability strategies for the order, you'd see it exactly here by line item. So that kind of walks you through the process of getting an order update. Now this would eventually hit S4. So let's go back to here again. Once it hit S4, this is making a call to the order API, and then it gets to S4. We saw the natural path from OMF to the destination service to CPI to cloud connector and then back to S4. But once S4 receives it, then it gets all the updates for delivery statuses, and those S4 would then, based on the integration, go through the confirmation flow and send all those confirmations and statuses back to OMF so that they can be available in the UI, number one, the OMF UI, number one. Number two, that you can publish those events via event mesh to any other consumer application, right? So you wanted to notify your customer that the order was created, that status or update goes through that integration pattern back to OMF, and then we can publish it on event mesh to be consumed by commerce, email notification systems, SMS systems, things of that nature.